What's up, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Money. A few months ago, I put out a video about how hard it is to get your first $100,000. It talked about the way that Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's right-hand man, had said that getting your first $100,000 is the most difficult thing. And to do a brief recap on that, the reason is because you are doing most of the heavy lifting as far as getting the money and investing it. There is not a lot of investment returns, there's not a lot of compounding returns. Even if you're investing $10,000 a year, it's still going to take you about 7 years to get up to that $100,000 mark. And so it's frustrating to a lot of people, and a lot of folks give up before that because, it does take a long time. It takes a lot of self-discipline and using money that you may rather use for something else, like a new car, or vacation, or just spending on bullcrap, for investing so that you know that you have money in the future. But once you have that $100,000, and when I speak about this, I'm not talking about something in an investment account that's like a retirement, like 401k or your Roth IRA or something like that. I'm looking at something more along the lines of you having $100,000 that is invested into a taxable account or some other type of investment that is able to be accessed by you at any time. Because the 401ks and stuff, you really aren't going to want to touch that until you are much older, after 59 and a half, when you can take that money out without any type of penalties or excess taxation like they hit you up with. And that's one of the reasons that I don't like tax advantage accounts. That's kind of just a sidebar, because of I don't like the government telling me what to do with my money. But once you are at that $100,000 level, it's going to put you at a pretty high level among your peers, because there are very few people that have $100,000 that they have access to at any given time. As a matter of fact, I went on to Google before I made this video to try to see what percentage of the the American public, has $100,000 just accessible to them at any time. And it was very hard to find a given number. But what I can say, because I've heard of the things that people having like $600 or $1,000 for an emergency, is like 60 or 70% of the people out there don't have them. If you're walking around any given town in the United States and you walk past 100 people in that day, you may be one of 1 or 2 or 3 people that have access to $100,000 at any given time. So if you guys are there, or if you're getting close, congratulations, because you are doing better than probably 90% of the American population, probably better than 95% of the world population as far as investing money and having money on hand. So once you get to that $100,000 level, what do you do? Because you're there, you've made the goal. And for me, when I get to my goals, it's sort of like, yay, for 5 or 10 minutes, like, well, what am I going to do next? And so what I wanted to go over today is the things that you can do next to get even more money, to build your financial freedom number, to build your bag, so to speak, and to continue on this road so that you can continue to make money and get to that financial freedom level where you can be legitimately wealthy instead of just rich. So here is the things that I've put together as far as what you can do with that $100,000 in order to keep it up. If you guys have been doing this and you've obviously been good at saving and you have been diligent, and the thing is that if you are at $100,000 and you've invested this in a total market index fund or some other investment that returns about 10% annually and compounds like VTSAX does, like VTI, these are the things that I recommend people putting their money into the stock market. And then this is the part of the video where I say that anything that I say is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold a stock. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. I want you to do your own research, but these have been investments that just perform over time. And if you leave that money, that $100,000, in that account for the next 2.5 decades, for 25 years, and it compounds at the average rate of 10%, and you add not a single cent to it after you reach that $100,000 mark, in 25 years, you will be a millionaire. The actual math comes out to $1,083,470 if you take 100 grand, put it in that account, and leave it there for 25 years without adding another cent. Now, you guys can play around in a compound interest calculator. You can put in whatever other variables that you want. If you bring up the rate by 1%, that brings you up by almost another $300,000. And we have been doing much greater than 10% for the last about 15 years in the S&P 500, in the total market. And so it is not unreasonable to think that we will continue to outpace the historical norms as the economy has gone on for the last 15 years. But that may not be the case. And so if you take that back down to 10%, but you will continue to add, let's say, your $10,000 a year that you were saving up to get to your first $100,000. We put that in there for the next, let's say, 25 years again. Now you are looking at $2.165 million by just continuing to do what you did to get to $100,000 for the next 25 years, which may be the remainder of your working career. And then this individual account that you have would be worth 2.1, almost $7 million, and that's not bad, especially if you're also socking money away in a 401k and you're getting your match, or you have a pension or whatever. But now let's say that you get to this $100,000 mark and you don't want to wait 25 more years for something to do with your money. The good news is that you are in a fabulous financial position just having just $100,000. You don't have to be a millionaire to be in a fabulous financial situation. You are good. If you lose your job temporarily, you're set, most likely. Most folks out there, the median wage is like $50,000 or $60,000 in the United States. It may not even be that high. I didn't look that up before I started recording this video, but you are probably going to be okay for a couple months to find something new. Or if you want to go back to school and get some sort of certification, degree, and to get on with something that you want to do with your life other than what you've done so far, you're good. You have that tuition money and you can use that to invest in yourself. That's a big way that I like to tell people to spend their money in order to make more money, is to invest in themselves. Now, if you want to continue making investments, you don't want to, go to school, or you're not worried about losing your job or quitting your job or anything like that, the biggest thing that I say is invest in real estate. The gains that I have made in real estate, especially, I've never done flipping, I've never done wholesaling, I've never done anything but rental on the residential level. I did landlording for about 8 years or so, and I've done short-term Airbnb rentals for the last 8 to 9 months or so. Those returns that I've been getting from those, total from my cash that I've put in to cash on cash return is somewhere in the range of 245%. So if you guys look at the returns that you can make in real estate versus the returns that you can make in the stock market, it's something that I think that people need to put a lot more looking into, because with $100,000 in the stock market, you are 100% into that investment. If you buy a piece of real estate, you can put down as little as 10% and the bank will lend you the rest. So, if you go out and you want to purchase a $500,000 Airbnb vacation rental, you can buy that with a second home loan. That does mean that you have to use it occasionally during the year, which is usually not a problem in the places the vacation homes are popular. You're into it for $50,000, and you're probably going to be making somewhere between $5,000 and maybe up to $20,000 a month on an investment like that. That's just one of the many different things that you can do once you've amassed this first $100,000. That is the hardest thing to get. You have the freedom to go out there and do whatever you want for the most part in the investment world, in the making money world. This isn't Lambo money, this isn't quit your job money, but it gives you so many more freedoms having $100,000 or really $90,000 or $130,000 to $200,000 for you to be able to start directing your own life in the way that you want to do things, and it gives you a lot more freedom than if you had went on, $5,000-$10,000 vacations for all those years and only had $5,000 in the bank. You're pretty beholden to your job at that point, and you really have very little financial flexibility. So guys, I want you to, if you haven't made your first $100,000, click on the link that's on the screen or just coming up here on the end screen that says why it is so hard to get your first $100,000, how to do it, how to stay motivated, how to stay disciplined to get that first 100 grand so that you can be in this position where you have options. Guys, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button for me. Be sure to subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell if you are not subscribed yet so that you don't miss anything that I put out on personal finance. I appreciate you guys watching today, and I'll see you on the next one.